Boker Tov. Obviously, it goes without saying that today is a very difficult day for all of Am Yisrael, hearing the news out of Israel. So we're going to learn this today, all those the hostages that were returned today in their coffins, and the Nishmat, all of the other the deceased soldiers and those who fell since October 7th. B'ezras Hashem, we pray that there will not be any more suffering from Israel and only have happy occasions. Continuing with the halachot, nishmatam, we left off yesterday regarding if you have to do a shinui when doing melacha for someone who's sick on Shabbat. Now, after that, the halachot discusses what types of illnesses do you treat. So first and foremost, Chilul Shabbat al chole she'im lo yitepal achshav yistaken. What if there's a scenario where there's an individual who's sick, that if you don't treat him now, he'll get worse? How do you break Shabbat to treat him? Someone who isn't necessarily severely sick at the moment. And if we don't treat him right now, we don't give him this medication, we don't help him out, there's a high likelihood that he'll enter into the realm of sakana, of pikuach nefesh, although at this current state, he is not in that category. We don't have to wait for someone to become pikuach nefesh or deathly ill to then treat him. If someone is chole she'en bo sakana, he's in that realm of category where we explained in the beginning that we don't necessarily break Shabbat for, but if we don't give him this treatment, he will become a chole she'en bo sakana and enter danger. Don't wait. We don't have to wait for him to become to pikuach nefesh to then save him. You can treat him on the onset before he even gets there. Obviously, if someone has a common cold or even necessarily a young person that has, let's say, a flu, that generally young adults who have healthy or have no underlying health history, a flu won't kill him. Okay, he's in bed. You don't necessarily have to break Shabbat. You can take the medication as is without necessarily breaking Shabbat. However, even someone that's not sick at all, and we're concerned if he doesn't take his medication, can get very sick. Obviously, it goes without saying that he should take his medication. A classic example is a diabetic, someone who is always considered a chole she'en bo sakana, but if he doesn't take his insulin or doesn't take his treatment that he needs on Shabbat, that can cause him to get ill. Obviously, it goes without saying that he takes his medication on Shabbat. He gives himself insulin shots before every meal as normal. Now, what about someone with a high fever, chom gavoa? So Ravadi says 40 degrees Celsius and higher. So machloket haposkim, what's considered a high temperature? We'll keep it simple. With Ravadia, Rav Moshe Feinstein is known for a much less degree of what's considered a high fever. But whatever, in any event, and he tries it with medications and all different types of ways to bring down the fever, yet it doesn't go down. If he does it if he tries it different ways, and he still has that very, very high fever, halacha permits him to go to the hospital and get checked out and understand why do I have such a high fever. If he is concerned, it could be an infection, could it be something worse. So in a scenario where he tried with the medications, with cooling stuff down, it doesn't work, he may. But Halacha explains, V'yesh ladat ki chom gavoa bekashishim o betinokot, with extreme elders or with infants, someone who has a fever, alul liyot mitzukan v'degrom letifuot kashot. Someone should know that if it's a baby or an elderly, don't wait. Don't try and break it with other medication. Obviously, take the medication right away, Ravadi, right? But even that, if you're seeing that the baby's temperature is extremely high, you can and you're allowed to go to the hospital without any hesitation, because a baby is always one level lower. It's always considered chole she'en bo sakana. Coupled with the fact that he has a fever and we don't play any games, we treat him right away. B'ezras Hashem, we only hear good news. Have a wonderful day.